Hello, welcome to the plot Malaysia. This is our 25th episode. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans.
Oh,
Leeds.
yeah. Whoa. I have to say, what a fantastic show we have lined up for you today. Today is all about Leeds United. Leeds United. And we welcome two guests on the show who are both Leeds United fans. Let's welcome Wei Liang and Nicholas Anil. Welcome to the show, guys.
What's up,
Thanks for
guys?
having us.
Awesome,
Yeah, thank
guys.
you so much for having us. It's a pleasure.
It's a
Great
pleasure
having you guys on
Yeah.
the show,
Yep.
man. Pleasure having you on the show.
Yep. So hurry, take it away, man.
Yeah, I mean, guys, listen, it's like as Ram said, it's our silver jubilee actually. So it's 25th
Yeah,
episodes
25th
in. So silver
episode.
jubilee, I would call it. It's come around pretty fast, but no better way to celebrate it than having two hardcore. When I say hardcore, guys, I really mean hardcore Leeds United fans in the house today. So it's going to be very interesting. We're going to talk all Leeds, a little bit Liverpool. We have to throw that in as well. A little bit Man United again. We have to throw that in
Yep,
as well
yep.
because that's where we come from. And no, I think there's Leeds United isn't complete without the rivalry of Leeds versus United. So we've got to talk a little bit about that down the road as well. Awesome, guys. Listen, great having you guys on for the show today. So yeah, it's a Leeds special, guys. Yep. So I tell you what, guys, I'm going to kick this off. Very simply by first wanting to find out from you guys, and I think our viewers want to know as well. Ram would want to know. I want to know this. How did you guys become Leeds supporters? When did this happen? How did this happen? And yeah, just take us through that bit of background.
Nicholas, why don't you start first?
Okay, I think for me it began when I was in Form 2, 99. That's when Leeds were called O'Leary's babies, right? So you had this young team, of course under the guidance of manager David O Leary, what struck me the most is that these boys were not much older than me. At that time I was 14 years old, but you had the likes of Alan Smith, Harry Kewell, Lee Bowyer, who were in their late teens and early 20s, and yet they were giving the mighty Man United, the mighty Liverpool, the mighty Arsenal a run for their money. And I was never one to support the big teams because coming from Malaysia, almost everyone is a Man United supporter or Liverpool supporter, right? So I did not want to go with the flow. I wanted to support a team of underdogs, but yet a team of passionate guys, who were made out of quality, who were willing to learn, and at the end of the day giving their all out in the pitch. Yeah, so that's when I slowly began to support Leeds United. But the turning point for me, how I absolutely fell in love with Leeds United was the game against Barcelona on October 24th, the year 2000. That time Champions League, we didn't even have Astro at that time, right? Champions League matches used to be shown on
Early
T1
days,
or
early
TV2.
Astro days,
Early Astro days, yeah, exactly. So when we were studying, it wasn't easy to watch early morning games. Our parents would not let us, so the only way was to sneak down, while they were sleeping, and try and catch the games. And of course, Champions League matches started at 3 a.m., right? So so fired up, wanting to watch this Leeds United team in action. They had already upsetted AC Milan, and they whooped Besiktas. And then I saw this Leeds United team, made out of a bunch of youngsters, um, facing a mighty Barcelona team at Allen Road, and Leeds United took the lead through Lee Bowyer free kick, and then Barcelona laid siege on the Leeds United goal. I think it was easily 20 to 30 shots that Paul Robinson and the Leeds United defense single-handedly stopped. I just couldn't sit still. I couldn't stand. I was sweating. You get all these emotions that you tend to feel as adults, when you're about to get married, when you're about to get your test results. I felt all of this when I was 14 years old. I was about to shit myself, and deep into injury time, 4th minute of injury time, Rivaldo pops up with an overhead kick, secures a point, 1-1 it ended, but that whole match basically transformed my love, not only towards Leeds United but football as a whole. I personally felt all the emotions a football fan could feel in that single game. So yeah, that's how it began for me, at least.
Wow, man,
Wow.
really interesting. One thing good to come out of that. One is the fact that I think everyone knows, and I think Wayland's going to talk about this. But I was talking to Ram about this earlier as well when we were preparing for this show. Uh, I grew up around that time as well, watching a lot of football, supporting Liverpool around that time, and for me, Leeds were like a second team almost. Not for anything else, but to watch their games as a neutral, it was brilliant. That team you had under O'Leary, as you spoke about. I think you guys made the Champions League semi-finals at that point in time, wasn't it? That year
Yeah.
against Valencia when we went out. But yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic team to watch, real attack-minded team as well. So that was brilliant to come out of it. The passion that you had for the team. Starting off then. But the other thing that came out of that, what you spoke about there, right, which was a big positive was, all the cold sweats you had watching that game against Barcelona. You didn't have to go through that again during your marriage, bro. At least you were used to it then, I suppose.
Yeah, I already experienced it. So, the sweats were still there, but I knew how to manage it better.
Yeah, brilliant, man.
Yeah.
I almost wish I had that kind of an experience. would have got me all prepared. But yeah, anyway, Wei Liang, how about yourself, man? Tell us.
Yeah.
Mine was much more simpler story. Mine, because around the year 2000, that's when I started watching football and following football a bit, because that's when I started playing football and stuff. So around that time, I only supported players. I didn't support the club because everyone was just MU, Liverpool. I didn't want to follow any of that. But I liked Ryan Giggs as a player at that time.
Okay.
So I was following Ryan Giggs' games. Then one day in year 2000, Leeds versus MU. Then at the point of time, I kind of liked Ian Hart because he was shooting very nice free kicks and stuff.
It's all about the free kicks, left
foot. One of a left foot.
Yep.
Yes, so I fell in love with Ian Hart, the way he plays it. Then from there, I started following Leeds game more often, and then I like the way they play because they are like what Nicholas said, they are all very young and stuff. So I fell in love with them and followed them since then. Then it was very tough to watch the games because once they were relegated later on, it was hard to catch them on TV.
Actually, I was going to ask you guys that as a follow-on, and I'm sure, Ram would be interested in knowing this as well. But a couple of things. One was, I suppose, just to understand, is there a Leeds United official supporters club here? Maybe you guys want to just let everyone know as well. And how big is that club?
Yep, we recently registered with the ROS last year.
Awesome.
Last year, officially, once we got promoted, we decided, okay, we should start this club now since we've been there for so long, but nobody really know about us because we weren't there for the past decade, 16 years.
Yep.
We were not in the Premier League, so nobody know about us. And there were not many new fans. All the youngsters don't even know the existence of Leeds. But Leeds was a sleeping giant that has now awoken. So now we decided to start the club. Members, I think now we have around 80 of them, if I'm not wrong.
Wow.
Yeah, it has grown ever since we were promoted last year.
Yeah.
Initially, most of our discussions, a lot of our forums, only took place in our official Facebook page. But we sort of opened that up once we got promoted, and to our surprise, so many people started wanting to come on board and join this big family. And now so from that Facebook page, now we have our own WhatsApp group.
Wow.
We have a club committee as well. We do gather for matches as well. So it's become more of an activity rather than just match day predictions and discussions.
That's awesome.
And the support and interest has really blossomed so much. But Hari, you mentioned, how did we watch matches?
I was going to ask you that, so how was it you would, obviously your club has grown now, you're back in the Premier League, as you said, but I always look at the hardcore fans who had to watch Leeds go through that difficult time when you guys were in the championship, you were down. I think you were in League One as well, weren't you, at one point in time?
Yeah.
And how were you catching those games? You must have been a much smaller group at that point in time. How were you watching those games?
William, you want to go first?
Okay, mine was, I think I did not really follow much of those games because it wasn't live telecast. Sometimes I listen to those audio commentary, or after the game, I go and look at SoccerNet.
Okay.
And get the scores and just keep in touch with the team since then. Nicholas, yourself?
So, like for me, right, after Leeds United got relegated to League One, especially, it was really difficult to follow them extensively, especially from this part of the world where we don't have
Mm.
access to any live coverage or delayed telecast. Our only source of information is live score, soccer net.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yep,
even
yep, yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
um, but so for me, it was just that reading match reports after the day after
Yeah.
matches,
Mm.
trying to watch some sort of highlights on YouTube and all. But this Leeds United group, some of them are really hardcore, man. They would listen to commentary like really young. How would you put yourself into League One 90-minute commentary? These guys used to do it week in, week out. And not only
Wow.
that,
Wow.
they go on live vlogs. I think there's
Yeah.
That
some
deserves an
several
applause.
Yeah, that
websites,
does, man.
that
Applause.
would have live updates, and these guys would diligently read that and listen to that. And it wasn't just for one season or 2 seasons. It was happening what 6,
Cross,
7 years.
Yeah.
Even after
Yeah.
we came back to the championship, it was so hard to watch Leeds United matches, even as late as last year. Because championship matches, they're only shown on Sky Sports, which are the right
Mm.
holders.
Yep.
Or if not, we resort to illegal streaming. So there were
Yep.
plenty of times where one kind-hearted soul in England or in Europe somewhere, he would get access to watch the matches live, and he would stream it from either his mobile phone or his laptop,
Wow.
on a particular page,
Yeah.
and he would have even 10,000 views, 15,000 views. People
Wow.
watching through his phone. That was sort of the dedication and the passion that Leeds United fans exuded, especially from this part of the world, and that really brought me at least closer to this family, because it's not easy supporting. It's one thing to watch your team play week in, week out on HD, on a 50-inch, 60-inch.
Yeah.
But to watch it from someone's living room of a phone, it's a different experience altogether, man.
But it's very, very inspirational, I have to say, story and how you started as Leeds fan, how you actually went through the entire ordeal of watching them relegated and then coming back to the championship and now in the Premier League, right?
The big
So,
time. Yep.
yeah, so having said that, guys, now the Leeds are in the Premier League. Of course, they're doing, I mean, in my opinion, I think they're playing some really good football. So my question is, my next question is actually to Wei Liang. Okay, I want to ask you this
Yeah.
question. Could you just share with us, what is the review of the season so far for Leeds? What do you think?
I think it's a very good performance for the whole team as a group, because I would say they pretty much kept pretty much the same team that came up from the championship back to the Premier League, and then they are still playing with pretty much the whole same team. And it's amazing how Bielsa has taken on them as players who were, considering they were fighting for survival in the championship again, they brought them up as champions in the championship, and then now taking up around the 10th place in the EPL.
Premier League,
So I think it's a very good performance this season.
And also, I agree. 10th position is no joke for a team that just came back to the Premier League. I think that's a very, very impressive.
And with pretty much the same squad as well.
Yeah,
I think
same squad.
I think the only guys you guys have signed is Rodrigo and Rafinha.
And
the ones who play often at least.
Yeah. And Rodrigo, I mean, to be honest, I think in my opinion, I think he was signed to probably replace Bamford or play as a main striker, but he's primarily been on the bench this year. So he's basically gone with almost the same squad, right?
He was hit with a bit of injuries and stuff, and he's not used to the fitness level that Bielsa wants, so he didn't really come out this season to perform.
And sticking with you, Wei Liang, I want to ask you, what's your prediction? The remaining games left, in the Premier League. Where do you think Leeds will finish? And who's your the player of the season for Leeds?
Realistically speaking, I think Leeds will end up pretty much the same place or 9th place.
Okay.
Because now we have, mathematically we have chances to overtake Tottenham, Everton, and Arsenal, right? These three. So these three teams, I think the remaining games for them are Tottenham and Everton. I think they are playing against Wolves, which Wolves currently is in pretty much good form. So I think maybe we can, even if we win both of those and then one of them wins the game, we are fighting on goal difference, which is tough for us to take over because Leeds have been pretty much make or break this season.
Yep.
Okay.
In terms of games, player of the season wise, I think Rafinha was our player of the season. This
Wei Liang is saying Rafinha. Nicholas, just a quick one.
Player of the
Who's your
season,
player
yeah.
of the season?
I think I would give it to Stuart Dallas because
Ah,
this is a player who has played in so many different positions. He started off playing
Yeah.
at left back, and then he moved to right back.
mm,
And against Spurs last week, he was playing as a right wing. And yesterday against Burnley, he was playing in central midfield. And he always puts on a 100%.
Good show, yeah, yeah,
You never get anything less than 100%. So for
Wow.
me, at least, Stuart Dallas is the player of the season.
Yeah, I think
Very,
that,
very
I think
interesting.
I think yeah, I know. I think you guys are spoiled for choices this season. I think I mean Rafinha stands out. I think Bamford stands out as someone who's never made it in the
Bamford too,
Premier League. People used to call
Yep.
him a British championship striker in all the years, and
Yeah.
he's smashed it. I think he's got 13 goals or 15 goals this year in the
15.
Premier League. Yeah, and
He's
then the
pretty
other
good.
guy I feel who's really stood out and he's as good as I mean, if Jordan Henderson doesn't make the starting 11 for England,
Meslier. Yeah.
I was going to say Calvin Phillips.
Uh,
Calvin Phillips in the center of the park for you guys, I think has been very impressive, man.
Yeah.
And he's almost a shoo-in to start for England, I think, with Declan Rice. So yeah, I think he's been a very, very impressive player as well.
Yeah, he's been
I
amazing.
kind of like the Leeds goalkeeper as well. I think he's quite a good goalkeeper. I think he's been quite consistent with his saves as well. So interesting, Wei Liang, you said Rafinha, Nicholas, you said Dallas, so it's very, very interesting choices over there. So
I was going to say, the goalkeeper is, I don't know how old he is, man, but he really looks like a teenager, bro.
yeah,
21. Just 21.
Yeah, he's outstanding
He's-
for his
he's
age. Like, he looks
outstanding,
very, very young.
outstanding.
Yeah.
yeah. So
And
Hari,
we're
you
now
want to take
going-
the next one?
Yeah. I mean, going to Nicholas now. I mean, we've spoken about how you got into being a Leeds fan, the David O Leary days. You've obviously got the Bielsa team now as well. Want to know what's your all-time best Leeds United 11? So maybe take us through the entire team from goalkeeper right up to the forward line.
Okay. So mine is a 4-4-2 formation
Yep.
for this best 11. I'll start off with the goalkeeper. For me, it was Paul Robinson. Of course, during that time, Nigel Martin was also a magnificent goalkeeper.
Yeah.
What a
But when he was beset with injuries, I think for 1 or 2 seasons, Robinson stepped up. And I think Robinson's audition came at that Barcelona game. He would have pulled off at least 15 saves. And for me, it was the single most best performance by a goalkeeper, not since Gianluigi Buffon against Holland in the Euro 2000.
Oh yeah, I remember that game as well.
It was amazing performance, and Robinson went on to establish himself as a Leeds United #1 after Martin left for Everton. And he only left after we got relegated. Of course, he got a better offer from Spurs. He left along with all the other players who had their prime and deservedly, were supposed to leave. So for me, it was Robinson, and a left back, as Wei Liang mentioned, Ian Hart. A lot of players, idolized the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. For me, it was a combination of Ian Hart and Harry Kewell, because I'm a left footer as well, and to see these players do wondrous things with their left foot was just magnificent for me.
Magnificent.
No doubt, Ian Hart wasn't the greatest at defending, but from an attacking point of view and set piece point of view, he was second to none.
Yep.
And then my central defense pairing would be Lucas Radebe and Liam Cooper, simply because they are outstanding captains in their own rights.
Radebe was brilliant.
Radebe
was brilliant. Yeah.
He was known as the chief. He even got praise from Nelson Mandela, and he was a true Leeds United legend. And Liam Cooper as well. He went from being called League One Liam, because he started off playing in League One, and look at him now. He's one of the established defenders in the Leeds United squad. And right back for me would have to be Gary Kelly, who has amazed more than 500 appearances for Leeds United. We had so many good right backs. After that, even Danny Mills came on and did a good job. But for me,
I was going to say Danny Mills.
Yeah. So in the middle of the park, like you mentioned, Ram, Calvin Phillips is also a Leeds through and through, a local boy. He's come through the system. And he's always put in a wonderful shift. This was a tough call between Calvin Phillips and David Batty, but for me, Phillips took the cake because Phillips not only provides shield for the defenders, he also has the ability to spray that pass.
Spray the balls. Very Xabi Alonso-like, yep.
Exactly, which results in a goal, So it was Calvin Phillips and Pablo Hernandez, who's another little wizard, the playmaker that can unlock the most meanness of defense. And Pablo Hernandez may not have featured so much this season, but last season he's one of the catalysts for us getting promoted back to the Premier League.
I was very quickly sorry. I was gonna ask you that, right? Because Pablo Hernandez hasn't really featured in a Leeds Premiership team. So were you debating whether he should be in purely based on last year? And were you also in a bit of a confusion as to go with maybe David Batty or someone else? Or was it sure shot Pablo Hernandez for you?
For me, Pablo always held a special place in my heart since joining Swansea, because this is a Premiership player, coming and playing in the Championship. But when he came to the Championship, you immediately know that this is a Premier League player, because he's always made the difference. He's not the quickest, but his footballing brain is just magnificent, and he just takes one or two moves and that pass to unlock the defense. And Hernandez has been consistent for us right up till the point that we got promoted. I think Wei-Liang would agree with me.
Yeah, for the past, if I'm not wrong, past 3 seasons he was outstanding, and then he's basically the creative spark for the Leeds squad during the Championship time. But you can see towards the end of the season where we got promoted, his stamina wasn't really there, and he can't catch up with Bielsa's requirement for fitness. So, because he's around 35 or 36 already. So he's slowing down, so he can't really play the full 90 minutes in the EPL game. So we really expect him to slowly fade away this season.
Fair enough. What about on the wings and in the striker positions, Nicholas?
So on the left wing, Harry Kewell. Harry Kewell, for me, is what Rafinha is looking to be this season. So fast, so silky. Takes on players and beats them for sure. A lot of Leeds United fans, I think, were upset because Kewell eventually made the move to Galatasaray, and Galatasaray was a sworn enemy after 2 Leeds fans got killed before the clash against Galatasaray in the UEFA Cup semi-final, I think first leg. But Harry Kewell only made the move from Liverpool. From Leeds to Liverpool, and when he was at Leeds, he wasn't called the Wizard of Oz for nothing, because he was
outstanding, man.
Right, and on the right wing it was Lee Bowyer, because Lee Bowyer was someone who was going through this court case of assault, I think, along with Jonathan Woodgate. So he was juggling between going to court and playing on match days, and he did it amazingly. Like, he would be in court for half a day, and then at night there's match, or late evening there's match, and he would wear the jersey and he would come and he would make a difference. So Lee Bowyer wore his heart on his sleeve. And he gave 100%. And for me, he deserves a place in my best 11. And the 2 strikers, after I think Tony Yeboah and Hasselbank, we did not have the greatest of strikers. But there was
you had Eric Cantona for 6 months, I think, isn't it? 4 months, 6 months. Won you all the league and then moved to Man United.
He didn't do that much to really warrant a place in this United. All great. But it was Alan Smith and Mark Viduka. Of course, they formed a great combination. And Alan Smith was a Leeds boy as well. He did not score that many goals, but what he gave was everything. He would track back. He would tackle in midfield. And even when he moved to Man United, I think Ferguson used him in midfield, because he was such a dedicated player. And he got a decent goal rate when he was at Leeds as well. And Mark Viduka,
what a player, man!
Forget Mark Viduka, the epitome of all-round striker. He's got good physique, great in the air,
great touch as well for a big number 9.
Amazing. He dances with the ball last time, and an amazing finish. So
Mark Viduka, 4 goals against Liverpool. Remember?
Yes, I was just going to say, man, I remember him very well, bro. I remember that game very well. Liverpool were outstanding in that game, but Leeds and Mark Viduka, oh my God. That guy was unbelievable on the day.
The commentator at the end was like,
Mark Viduka 4, Liverpool 3. I remember that till now, bro. And a couple of other things, man, that struck to mind. Harry Kewell, I'm actually jealous because he gave y'all the better years compared to Liverpool. He spent the best years at Leeds, So we got a Harry Kewell that was a bit injury prone.
Correct.
That wasn't at his best. He was still great in some games, but that's my jealousy. I wish we got him a couple of years earlier because he was that good for you guys. And then and Lee Bowyer, man. Lee Bowyer, I remember him as a boxer, bro. He was
Yeah.
ripping the shirt of Kieran Dyer for Newcastle. That's my
Yeah.
memory of Lee Boy. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And I have to say the same about Alan Smith as well. He was really, really good in Leeds. When he came to United, of course, he had injuries. He was also injury prone and so on. So I think, there's a lot of, sharing moments, of these players that started from Leeds and of course moved on to other clubs as well. But I have the next question. Hurry, should I go with the next
Yes,
question?
go for it, man.
Because earlier you guys were talking about, we were talking about the Champions League where you guys were in the semis was it 2005? Not mistaken? Was it?
2001, I think.
2001.
2001, yeah.
2001.
2001.
2001. Okay. So I want to ask this for both of you. Anyone of you can go first. How good was David O Leary's, team that made it to the semis? How good were they?
I think William, why don't you take it off first?
I would say they were great because that's the team I fell in love with, Leeds at the first place, because they were very aggressive and playing very fast tempo kind of football. So from what I know and what I recall, because it's quite long ago, their midfield was they controlled the game very well in the midfield. And then on the flanks, they attack Boyer and Kiel. They always take on one-on-one players. They always go into flanks, while the central midfield, Oliver Daycott and David Batty, they were very good. So I think it was a very good balance in that team, and the way they play was fantastic to me at the point of time.
Awesome, man. Nick, anything to add?
Awesome.
Yeah, I agree with Wei Liang. I think that squad wasn't a big squad. O'Leary always tended to stick with the same starting 11. So teams knew the players they were going to face, but this Leeds United team was so consistent in the Champions League. I mean, it was not easy at that time because they were still pushing for a top 5, top 4 finish in the Premier League. But at the same time, they were still juggling Champions League matches. If you ask me, I was very disappointed when we lost to Valencia. Gaiska Mendieta was a hit.
Oh, what a player!
Person, in this
I think that was a strong Valencia team, like that. Pablo Aimar as well.
It was, yeah. But I think the Leeds United team, with the form they were at, they could have beaten them. It was an off day, and Valencia capitalized. And if I'm not mistaken, they went on to win the Champions League that year.
I think they did. Valencia, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the Gaiska Mendieta team.
Yeah. So a great team. I felt we had an off day, especially in the second leg. But it was a great achievement nonetheless.
Awesome, man.
Brilliant team, definitely.
Now, moving on from that team, right, the David O Leary team, we now have a different version of Leeds, but very similar, I think, in terms of identity. I mean, at least when you watch them play as a neutral, again, it's open to both of you guys here, I know, but I think for viewers out there, the reason we asked you about David O Leary's team was a lot of young viewers out there wanted them to get a picture of how good the team was. And guys, you should watch that team. If you get some highlight clips on YouTube, check it out. That David O Leary team was some team to watch. But the current team is some team to watch as well. So just for viewers out there to understand, right? We watch it. I don't watch Leeds on a regular basis. I don't follow Leeds as much because I'm a Liverpool fan. But you guys do. So what is this Bielsa philosophy and style of play? If you can just give some input about this, right? Because Pep Guardiola idolizes the guy. All the top managers idolize Bielsa. I'm a big fan just watching him. I think they should have a camera on him throughout the game because he's on his knees throughout the game. I don't know how he does it at his age, man. I go down on my knees for 5 minutes. I'm struggling, bro.
Asian squad.
So,
you go down, you can't get up.
Can't get up, bro. So, and he does it at his age. People speak very highly of him, all the top managers, right? But you guys watch the game day in, day out. What's his philosophy like? What's his style of play?
Nicholas, you go first.
Okay, for me, I think when Bielsa signed on for Leeds, it was an eye-raising appointment because we knew the type of football Bielsa played, but his commitment and his stint at every club, before Leeds was always a short one. He never stayed beyond a season, and he was always known to really push his players beyond their breaking point. Which is why you see a lot of teams that he had managed before Leeds. The teams would start off in blistering fashion, but come the tail end of the season, they would sort of peter out, and they would not last the pace. And it exactly turned out that way when Bielsa came on board, and the first season, Leeds were high and mighty. They were flying. I think they were top for best part or 3/4 of the season.
Yeah.
And then in late January, February, we started slipping up. We dropped out of the top two, which promised automatic qualification to the Premier League. And then we eventually could not get back up to the top two, so we ended up going through the playoffs and eventually that heartbreaking defeat to Derby County. And there were a lot of questions about Bielsa's commitment and also Bielsa's style, because what people had expected had come through. This team, which had started out so great, had sort of faded towards the tail end of the season, which was the most crucial part in any season. It remained to be seen whether he would want to continue this project. And he took on the project for another year. And then the same thing happened. Leeds United started off in great fashion and all, but we were all cautious as Leeds United fans, seeing what was going to happen. But last year it did not happen. This Leeds United team was just mad. They were relentless throughout. So when we stopped for the COVID break, we were leading by how many points, William? I think 5, 6 points.
I can't recall. I think maybe around 5 points or so.
Yeah,
for the automatic qualification points,
So correct, for automatic qualification. And the fear was that, when the league eventually resumed, this Leeds United team were sort of going to lose that stranglehold on the top two. But credit to Bielsa and the team, they eventually won 5 of that 7 matches and ended up as champions. And coming to the Premier League, which is a whole different ball game altogether.
Very intense, yeah.
We all saw what happened in that first game. Leeds United 3, Liverpool 4. Even though Leeds lost, the game which they had put out,
was awesome.
That same style,
very good game,
commitment, and that same hunger and drive is prevalent right up till now. You saw that in the Burnley game yesterday. So it has been consistent. It has been murder ball. It has been relentless. It has been 110%. But Bielsa has kept consistency with the same players last year, like Wei-Liang pointed out. So that has been amazing.
So what do you put that down to, Wei-Liang? The fact that what Nicholas is spot on, right? I mean, I looked at the guy's history as well, and his teams tend to tail off because it's a very aggressive, very intense brand of football. I thought that he would do well in the early part of the Premier League season. The Premier League being so intense as it is, he would really tail off. But the teams haven't. In fact, they've picked up a notch towards the end, I think, again. What do you put that down to?
I think it's more of the consistent successive seasons of training of his trainings method, the murder ball sessions where everyone is talking about. Do you know about the murder ball training?
I hear people start puking and all during his sessions.
Heard about it.
I heard, heard about
so basically the murder ball is basically taking on a normal game, but every time the ball go out of play, out of foul or anything, the assistants at the side would throw in a new ball to start immediately. There's no rest at all for 90 minutes. So that's how they consecutively train I think pretty much every single day they do that. Wow. So their stamina is fantastic already. So if you talk about championship games, they have 46 games that time. Now Premier League you only have 38. Although the intensity is higher, but the lesser games is actually, I would say, it's better for Leeds.
Awesome. And then the one other thing I was going to ask, we talk about murder ball, for example. Klopp, whenever Liverpool faces Leeds, he always says that Leeds' style is a man-marking style.
Yeah.
Can you guys give some insight into that? What do you mean by a man-marking style? That means they mark every opposing player as the game is going on, is it?
Yep. The 10 outfield player will mark individual players based on their positions. So they will do a high press kind of play, high intensity press. So that's where you always see them winning back the ball in the middle of the field, and then they do a half counter back where they always do quick successive passing and make use of the whole width of the pitch, and then they try to overwhelm the box. So it disorganized the opponent's defense as a whole. Because when you look at Bamford, although you can see that his touches in the game, right, is actually very little, the amount of touches he get, but he always do a lot of runs which pulls the opponents away and then open up space for other players to score and get into the play. So I think that's the style Bielsa always plays. And then he always builds the game from the back. That means you always see them passing the ball back to the defense, slowly picking up again.
So interesting. I want one more question before I hand it over to Ram for the next one. I mean, this topic is very interesting for me because I'm a big fan of the guy as well, Bielsa. You think he's going to stay? Bielsa?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question. All Leeds fans are asking, but he's given some indication. Bielsa generally does not commit to any contract extension before the end of the season. So he's only gonna give an answer after the season ends. But based on how he's brought this Leeds team up from the Championship to a top half finish, most possibly in the Premier League, and how he's adored in the city of Leeds, I think the likelihood is he will most definitely stay on.
Yeah. Because Bielsa always use, if you look at the past clubs he managed, right, he always have a disagreement with the management, then he will leave.
Yes,
but then
the owners and all, yeah.
Wadrizani and him, I think they have a pretty much good relationship. Their direction is pretty much the same, what they want. So I think Bielsa will stay on for his project in Leeds.
Wow, absolutely fantastic.
That'll be good news for the Premier League as well, I think. Yep.
Good news for the Premier League, and of course, I'll be very happy if Bielsa stays because he has added so much into the Premier League, given so much to the Premier League, and we look forward to watch more Leeds games as well in the future. So, with that said, a big congratulations to both of you Leeds fans because Leeds United will be in the Premier League next season as well. So, that's really, really good news. But having said that, guys, just wanted to get your thoughts. What are the areas that you think you guys want to strengthen next season? And from those positions, who do you think could be the likely signings that you could get for Leeds United? Anyone?
I think the main where they need to strengthen is the left back, definitely.
Okay.
The rest of the positions, I think they more likely need a backup to it, like maybe the goalkeeper post, because our previous keeper, Kiko Casilla, he's not to say young, and a lot of Leeds fans don't really like him now. So we need a cover to cover Ilham Meslier because he's still young. We need to provide some competition for him as well. So, and the other one is backup for Kelvin Phillips. Because every time Kelvin Phillips is not in the game, Leeds kind of like always
struggles
and stuff. Then we need one more center midfielder to provide a creative spark. But I think the role is being handed to Rodrigo, but he has yet to really show it that he can take on that role. Because yesterday's game, he replaced Patrick Bamford as the position number 9. That's where he started scoring. Yep. But he's being asked to play the number 10 role, which
so
is
you need like a 10 basically.
Yeah.
Someone to come in as a 10. Yourself, Nick? Any areas you think you need to strengthen, and anyone you have in mind?
Yeah, definitely the left back position needs to be replaced because Ezian Alioski will most likely be making the move to Turkey. And so I don't know. There are not many excellent left backs, consistent left backs who are available at this point. If you look at the top clubs, they're all set. They're not going to move the likes of Sergei Reguilon and Luke Shaw, Ben Chilwell. I would like to see someone like maybe Kieran Tierney, from Arsenal, who has not really played all that much, but he might fit the Bielsa style. If not, Marcelo from Real Madrid.
Wow.
He would be a great addition. Had a fallout with Zidane. But that's just wishful thinking, to get someone of Marcelo's pedigree.
You never know with Bielsa's pedigree, man. With that,
exactly.
He can attract
if
people.
He can work his magic to bring in a solid left back, then we really strengthen. But for me, one of the most important order of business, besides getting Bielsa's future sorted out, is getting Jack Harrison to sign on permanently, because that guy is on loan from Manchester City, and you can see how good he has been.
Yes, he's been very, very good for Leeds.
We don't want Manchester City looking at him and thinking, should we bring this guy back? And if he goes back to City, he's not going to be playing. He's going to be on the bench most of the time, So really up to the Leeds management to sort that Jack Harrison business out, because he's been amazing. Not only this season, but even last season as well.
It's on loan for 3 seasons already.
Yeah, exactly.
So the one thing I'll say, right, this may be a bit controversial in the sense that you guys will be upset me about this, but I think there's one guy who's paramount for you to sort his future out and tie him down. But at the same time, I don't want you to tie him down because there are rumors Liverpool may want him. It's Rafinha.
Oh my God.
So just saying, guys, but if you don't really want him, if there's any release clause or anything, we might be coming in for him. I think he's a really, really good player, that guy. And there were also rumors about Bamford, actually. Interesting. Liverpool interested in Bamford. And I can see why from what you have said as well, because He's a very unselfish striker, makes a lot of good runs. It reminds you of Bobby Firmino, Roberto Firmino, and what he does for Liverpool. So he might be a good understudy for him, actually. So good discussion all around. Guys, listen, we've got a surprise section for you guys now. A surprise section for you. It's what we call our rapid fire round. Got about 4 or 5 questions. It's going to be rapid questions. We want quick fire answers. There's 4 or 5 questions. On the top of your head, what do you guys think? So Ram, I'll let you kick it off, man.
Okay, so the first question is, okay.
I can be for both of you. We want
for
to
both
answer
of you.
from both of you. Yep.
Yeah, for both of you. So first question, David O Leary or Bielsa?
Bielsa.
Bielsa. Okay. Wow. Well
Interesting.
done.
I thought one of you might go for David O Leary, actually.
Yep. Well done.
Cool,
Hurry,
cool,
next.
Yep. If you could choose, I'm going to ask you, if you could choose one Leeds player from that David O Leary Babes team, as you spoke about, that early Champions League David O Leary team, to add to the current team to improve the squad, who would it be? Just one player.
David Batty.
Batty. All right.
I'm going to go the same position, but I'm going to go with Olivier Dacor.
Olivier Dacor.
I was between him.
Okay.
Interesting.
Nice.
Very interesting. Interesting. You guys didn't go for one of the creative guys like Kewell or Viduka, actually. But yeah, I can see that. I can see where you went, because that's where the current need is and where you see you can add quality to the team. Cool thinking. Go on, Ram.
Next question for both of you as well. Your favorite Leeds cult hero?
Radaby.
Lucas Radaby. Okay. Nicholas, what about you?
Lee Boyer.
Lee Boyer. Oh, okay. I knew one of you were going to say that. Over to you, Harry.
I actually thought one of you may even drop in Anthony Yeboah.
Yeah, but Yeboah was slightly before our time.
Slightly before our time.
He's definitely a Leeds legend, but we didn't see enough of him.
Yeah, it was early 90s, I think.
Yeboah. Yeah, it was early 90s.
Okay, cool. Next one. Next season, if you had to choose, European place or a trophy?
I would go with a trophy. Of course.
Trophy.
Trophy, yeah.
Trophy.
Okay. So even if it's a Carling Cup, but you'd rather get the trophy as opposed for qualifying for Europe, lah.
Yeah, I think it's better if they don't qualify for Europe so fast also. Stabilize themselves first in the Premier League. Because if they rush to get Europe qualification and then they invest too much, it's going to be a problem again. Because we already seen what happens, the financial problem back in those days, 16, 17 years ago. So I don't really want that to happen. So I would say stabilize first.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Trophy it is. Trophy.
On, Ram.
Who knows, Premier League trophy next season? Never know. Okay.
Yeah, you could do a Leicester, man.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so favorite Leeds match of all time?
William?
I think I know Nick's already, lah, but yeah.
I would say this season's opening against Liverpool.
Oh, even with the defeat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yours, Nick.
Nicholas.
This for me, this match is not the best of all time, but the best simply because we beat United. Leeds United 1, Man United 0, FA Cup third round. Jermaine Beckford.
I remember that. You guys were even you were a championship team back then.
And United fans, man, they just went silent. We tried calling our friends. Nobody picked up. Saw losers to the max. Unbelievable. So that made it even more sweeter.
Okay,
wow.
Cool. Very interesting. Very good choice.
Harry, you have a very interesting question. The last one.
Yeah, the last one, guys. This is the most important question, the most interesting question, and you guys can give us the answer at exactly the same time if you want, Liverpool or Man United?
Neither. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
You wanted to test how loyal you are to Leeds. Well done.
Neither.
We like neither as well.
Of course.
Well done. Absolutely well done.
Awesome. Guys, listen, it was awesome having you guys on the show, man. Just digging your insights on everything Leeds United from past and present. Before we go, just one question, Wei Liang. From the team that Nick read out earlier, his best 11, all-time best 11 for Leeds. Anyone you would change? Is there one or two positions? you
Okay,
would change?
my best 11 actually, keeper is Nigel Martin.
Yep.
Left back Ian Hart. Radaby is center, and together with Woodgate.
Oh, Woodgate, yes, yep.
Woodgate. Right back, I would choose the current one, Luke Ayling.
Yep.
And because I'll be using Bielsa's formation.
Okay.
Then with Kelvin Phillips taking on the defensive center midfield.
Yep.
Left midfield, I would go for Gary Speed.
Oh, yes, man. Sad.
Yeah.
Gary
And
Speed
right
was
back,
my-
right midfield, I'll go for Rafinha. Center midfield, Betty, and I was contemplating either putting Milner or Hernandez there. Then striker is Mark Viduka.
Wow.
That's a good team as well, man.
Yeah,
Very
it's a
good team
solid
as well.
team as well.
Very, very good team as well.
But
Talk
I
about
have-
Milner came a lot of connection, man. Liverpool, Leeds, and
Leeds.
yeah. Talk about Milner now as well. Yeah, I think you guys had Rio Ferdinand from Leeds as well, isn't it? Ram, yeah.
Eric Cantona, Alan
Eric
Smith.
Cantona came from there. Jonathan Woodgate, who forgets, man, went to Real Madrid but never played really. He had a horrible debut and then never really took off because of his injuries. But yeah.
David Seaman was from Leeds too.
Oh, interesting. See, David
Yeah,
Seaman from
yeah,
Leeds as well.
Seaman as well. But Hari, I got a question. What do you think about Milner joining Leeds next season? Are you guys ready to let go of him?
Personally, no.
No?
Personally, no. I think he's that good a player for such an effective player. He can play in the middle. He can play left midfield if you need him. He can play left back if you need it in emergency.
That's why I'm hoping that Milner goes to Leeds.
No, and not just that. I would have thought he may go actually this year because to go back to his hometown club Leeds as well.
Yeah.
But I think we won't let him go purely because Gini Wijnaldum is leaving Liverpool at the end of this year. He's lost. I mean, he's out of contract, so he's going. So I don't think we will let go of two midfielders in the very same window.
But I really
Why I
doubt
think
we
maybe
will sign
not.
him also because we got Stuart Dallas at that position at this current point.
Yeah. Maybe in a year's time or something like that, but not I think this summer because of the situation that we find ourselves in. Guys, listen, it's been an
Awesome.
absolute pleasure having you guys on. I think what are Leeds called? The Peacocks, is it?
The Peacocks.
The White
Peacocks.
The Whites, the Peacocks.
Whites, the Peacocks. So, before we go, give us a quick chant, a Leeds chant to sign off the show, guys. You must have a chant or something you
Come
guys
on,
sing when you guys get together.
Marching on together.
Yeah, marching on together. We're going to see you win. We are so proud. We shouted that out.
Marching on together.
Marching on together. All right. And we are
Well, if
marching
you want to know
on.
more about Leeds, you can follow us on the Facebook page, Leeds United Supporters Club Malaysia.
Yes, please do, guys. Leeds supporters, you know where to find these guys and connect with them as well.
And to all the viewers out there, if you have anything you want to add in the comments, of course, please leave your comments down below. And of course, follow their page on Facebook as well. It's been an absolute fantastic show today. And I have to say to both Nicholas and William, whatever you guys have shared with us, based on the old games back in 2000s, I think brought back a lot of memories for
lots of
myself and Hari. Very nostalgic feeling. So here we are once again, signing off from the plot, Malaysia. This is the show for the fans.
By the fans.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Pleasure having you guys on.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.